Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another follow-up to my entire fragrance collection. If you look closely behind me, you can see little holes and gaps because I've been taking a lot off the shelves. I've already started my declutter process. Part 1 has been posted and part 2 is coming very soon, but today I'm sharing my top 50 fragrances. It sounds like a big number, should be very generous. I found this really difficult. In fact, I have a separate pile of about 15 fragrances that I'm calling my honorable mentions because I love them so much, but I just could not squeeze them into my top 50. These are my all-time favorites, the best vanillas, best princess perfumes, best tropical fragrances for summer, my most complimented, head-turning, show-stopping fragrances that leave an incredible trail. If you are looking to bulk up your collection with some of the all-time greats, this is the perfect video for you. I did not rank these in any particular order, but I did attempt some organization, so I'm starting with all of my vanilla forward fragrances. These are both from Guerlain. I have Spiritus Double Vanille and Angelique Noir. You can tell this one comes in the old bottle, and then this one I had customized in the new bottle. Spiritus Double Vanille from Guerlain is the ultimate deep, dark, moody rum vanilla fragrance. It is opulent, it is luxurious. The vanilla to end all vanillas. If you only want one in your collection, this should be the one. It belongs in a league of its own. Spiritus Double Vanille is black tie, it's wedding. Even though I would not call this a traditional bridal fragrance, it could be a bridal fragrance because I think it's just so special occasion. It's perfect for a date night. Could be a signature scent if you are just that girl. Angelique Noir is another masterpiece. It still has vanilla, it's very smooth and creamy, but it has a bit of a fruity green bite to it. It has noir in the name, so you might think it's going to be deep, dark, heavy, maybe more fall, winter, but I actually think this is a really beautiful kind of green, fresh vanilla for spring, summer. This could be worn right now and it would be perfect. YSL Babycat is another vanilla with a cult following, and it deserves all of the hype. Unfortunately, I found this on eBay. I tracked it down after hearing so many rave reviews, and I was fully expecting to be underwhelmed because it had just been built up so much. I hate to break it to you, but it truly is that good. It's a slightly powdery, leathery vanilla. So elegant, so sophisticated. If this is your everyday vanilla fragrance, I'm scared of you. You are powerful beyond measure and you know it, and you're probably always the most stylish person in the room. This fragrance is insanely good, and if anyone wants to start the formal petition to get YSL to finally make this available in the United States, I will happily sign. Absolute Aphrodisiac from Initio, I would probably wear for the same occasion as YSL Babycat, Spiritus Double Vanille from Guerlain. It's different enough. It's a slightly sweet gourmand vanilla fragrance, and it is a powerhouse. One of the strongest fragrances. It has incredible projection, great lasting power. I only have the travel size right now, but as soon as I finish this, I will purchase the full-size bottle, no question, because it's so beautiful. I love wearing this fragrance. I always draw a lot of compliments because other people can smell me. I can smell me, which is very rare. Sometimes we get nose blind to ourselves when we've been wearing a fragrance for so many hours throughout the day. We can't really smell it as much, even if other people can. That's not the case with this. I can always still smell it hours later, and it makes me feel good. It boosts my confidence because I know I still smell incredible. Black Tie from Celine is another incredibly elegant vanilla fragrance that I just have to have in my collection. And while they do all contain similarities, smelling them one after another really helps me to appreciate the nuance. So I would describe Black Tie as a little bit more of a bubbly or maybe a slightly zesty, spicy root beer float, root beer cream soda type of vanilla. Ironically, I think Black Tie would make an incredible signature scent. This is everyday worthy. If I was getting really dressed up for a Black Tie event, I would most likely opt for Spiritus Double Vanille instead, something with a little bit more oomph. This has a beautiful orris, woody, musky vanilla dry down that suits everyday occasions really well. Mandorle and Orchidee Rouge are both almond vanillas from Soradora, and they are incredibly unique. I would describe these as more warm weather tropical vanillas, slightly gourmand, but very difficult to describe because they don't smell like any other fragrances I've ever tried. My two favorite fragrances from Soradora, they're very difficult to sample, but if you read the notes in the description online and you like the way they sound, neither one is a risky blind buy. That's how confident I feel recommending both of these fragrances. They are stunning. We have more tropical vanillas here, Sublime Vanille from Creed and Dama Bianca from Xerjoff, and I feel like I need to pick up the pace a little bit if we're gonna make it through all 50 of these. Sublime Vanille is like a whipped lemon meringue souffle up in the clouds, sprinkled with pixie dust. It has lemon, vanilla. The dry down is just a lemon sugary vanilla. It's beautiful and it is so just light, airy. And over the years, this has increased in price. So this is now one of my most expensive fragrances, but I just can't help myself. I think it's incredible. And then Dama Bianca from Xerjoff has that lime and kumquat, zesty, citrusy burst right off the top. It awakens the senses. It's so invigorating and juicy. And then the dry down has that smooth vanilla finish. It is so feminine. I think this is a beachy princess perfume. It's bridal, it's perfection. I could wear this every single day and never get sick of it. And I talk about it every summer. And I'm so excited because it's really warm outside. So it just feels like Dama Bianca weather. And now we're slowly transitioning into more fruity, floral, tropical fragrances. I would consider Addictive Vibration from Initio to be kind of tropical, something about it. It smells very delicious, definitely a gourmand fragrance. The tart fruity notes are so interesting. This is one that is very unique. This is the ultimate accessory for brunch. It feels like a power move because it's so bold. If you like crisp apples and honey, I highly recommend trying this fragrance. Cassiopeia from Tiziana Terenzi is another fragrance that is synonymous with summer to me. This is my beach bride, tropical princess mermaid fragrance. It smells so fruity and floral. It smells like a luscious, fresh fruit salad. It's so crisp and juicy. The dry down has musk and vanilla, and it's just very sensual and feminine. One of my all-time favorite fragrances. When choosing my top 50, I honestly did not take price into consideration whatsoever. I wanted to make sure that I was truly giving you my best of the best recommendations, but that doesn't mean that all of these fragrances have to be the most expensive luxury niche fragrances. We do have some affordable picks, but they're on the list because they're amazing, not just because of the price and trying to keep things well-rounded. Skylar Sunkissed Dahlia is a relatively new discovery for me. And it was love at first sniff. It smells like sunshine. It's bright. It's peachy. If you want to capture the vibe and essence of Cassiopeia without shelling out hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I think Sunkissed Dahlia is a really nice option. Not that they smell the same, but they're going to give you the same effect. Juliet Has a Gun Lust for Sun smells like a day at the beach. Anytime I smell this fragrance, it makes me so nostalgic. Growing up in Tampa, my friends and I would always go to Clearwater when we were going to the beach. And when I smell this fragrance, I swear it takes me back to coming home, sandy, after a really long day spending time in the sun with friends. It has a ylang ylang coconut and vanilla. It is such an unexpected coconut fragrance. It smells a little bit more floral than it does coconut. Flower Bomb Tiger Lily from Viktor and Rolf is my current favorite flower bomb and one of the best tropical perfumes. It truly smells like the perfect night out in Miami fragrance. It has coconut, mango, a little bit sweet, but not too much, and it's so different from the original. Oud Jaune Intense from Fragrance de Bois is my favorite fragrance from this brand. It's a bright, tropical, floral fragrance, similar to Juliet Has a Gun Lust for Sun in that it smells a little bit more floral, but still has a little bit of that warm weather flavor. Now, these two are more aquatic fragrances. They remind me of a boat day or spending time near the water. Sirena from Florist London is the ultimate mermaid perfume. It has marine notes, berries. It's very oceanic. Not necessarily tropical, beachy. There's no coconut, but it still just reminds me of being near the ocean. And then Love in White for Summer from Creed is one of my longtime favorites. This bottle has one of the biggest dents in my collection. Anytime I have the opportunity to go out on a boat, which sometimes when brands have events in Miami, they'll have a boat day, I almost always wear Love in White for Summer. It's just crisp, classic, Reminds me of wearing an all-white outfit. Great in warm weather because it's still light and fresh. You smell very clean, a little bit fruity, aquatic. 51 from Roja smells like sunset. I was hyper fixated on this fragrance a couple summers ago. Whenever I first discovered this fragrance, it was love at first sniff, and I just became obsessed with this fragrance for the longest time. I remember what made me fall in love so much at the beginning. It has fruity notes, some floral notes, beautiful vanilla sandalwood musky dry down, and it just makes me feel like vacation. I have heard people describe this fragrance as more of a fall winter cozy scent, and I could see how it could go both ways. I think it just depends on your climate, depends on maybe your perception of the fragrance, because it does have some sweet woody notes in the dry down. For me, this will always be a romantic vacation scent, but it could also be romantic sweater weather. We're taking a Chanel intermission before we move on to Princess Perfumes. I have 3 all-time favorite Chanel fragrances that made it to my top 50, starting with Coco Noir. This is classic. It's so spicy, it's bold, unapologetic, a classic floral with May Rose and patchouli. This is definitely an evening, date night, getting dressed up, holiday party type of fragrance. I will always have this in my collection. Allure Sensuelle is not only one of my favorites, I think it's one of the most underrated Chanel fragrances because it's not as widely available. A lot of people talk about Allure, but not Allure Sensuelle. This is the closest thing Chanel has to a gourmand. It has amber and vanilla. The dry down is insanely beautiful. It is so romantic and it's a must-have. I can't be impartial when it comes to gardenia. This was my wedding day fragrance. To me, this is just the ultimate white floral. It smells like a fresh bouquet of gardenias. It's very singular. It's not overly complex. It doesn't really smell niche and unique. The beauty is in the simplicity of gardenia. Silk Santal 36 is the only Kayali fragrance in the top 50. I really wanted to include my Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, the Vanilla Royale in the gold bottle as well. This was my favorite launch of 2023. It is such an incredible fragrance. It has sparkling champagne, white freesia, pink praline, lush nectarine, sandalwood, and sugared musk. Sadly, it was limited edition. I've heard rumors that they are bringing it back, and I always see her comment section flooded with questions, people asking about Silk Santal, so I imagine they will listen to the people and bring this back at some point. It is well worth picking up a bottle. It smells incredible. It's feminine, it's a little bit gourmand, it's just the perfect fragrance. I just discovered Spirit of Kings a couple months ago, so I haven't had these 2 in my collection for very long, but they are so incredible. They instantly became favorites. This is Aludra in the pink bottle or with the pink label. This smells very similar to Delina, and it's actually kind of replaced Delina for me. Not that they're identical, and I wouldn't say this is a dupe of Delina. I think this one has maybe a little bit more vanilla in the dry down, but comparable. If you like one, you'll probably like the other, and I didn't feel like I could include both on the list. This is like half the price. So if you've finished Delina recently, I would try Aludra the next time around. And then I also really like Sagira. This one comes with the white label. Very princessy. On the sweeter side, like a candied bouquet. If you like something that's very floral and feminine, but you also appreciate gourmands, I think you will love Sagira. Both of these are outstanding fragrances. And I would say these are evening, weekend, date night, special occasion type of scents. It's a bit criminal to only have one Dior fragrance in the top 50, and I was so torn between what to choose. I was toying and going back and forth between Blooming Bouquet and Belle de Jour. Belle de Jour is just a little bit more special, and I don't know if this is available anymore. It might be in stores, but I'm not sure what's going on with their elevated line, their exclusive line of fragrances, because there are only a handful, whereas they used to have a huge range. I don't know if they're going to be bringing them back, if they're just redoing them completely now that they have Francis Kurkdjian in charge of their fragrances. But some of them were really outstanding, and I would be sad to see them gone for good. Belle de Jour is a juicy pear with rose and vanilla. It's incredible. That intensely flavorful pear where you take a bite and you think, whoa, is this what a pear actually tastes like? That's the one. That is the note in Belle de Jour. It's really nice. Jardins de Misfah from Une Nuit Nomade is another beautiful candied floral fragrance. It has really sweet notes, vanilla, it has rose. Just smells like a candied bouquet. It's really lovely. I would say this could be a great every single day fragrance. And it drives a lot of compliments. I'll never forget when I wore this fragrance out on a shoot with one of my friends who was helping me get content. I was spritzing this fragrance and my friend Amelia kept asking me, what is that fragrance? What is it again? And it's kind of a difficult name and not a memorable brand. So she kept asking me several times and she was like, okay, I need to write that down because I have to know what that is. It smells amazing. It's one thing to get a compliment, but if they keep asking you what the fragrance is and they want to write down the name and the brand, you know it's really good. We have 4 more pink princesses here. You've heard me talk about all 4 of these quite a bit. Oriana from Parfums de Marly. I cannot believe this is the one and only Parfums de Marly on the list, but Oriana is just my style. This was love at first sniff. I always say it reminds me of a berry chantilly cake. It's a fairy princess perfume. It's sweet, it's light and airy and effervescent. It just smells dazzling. Elixir from Roja. This is the new pink rhinestone bottle. It has everything. All of the princess notes put together in this fragrance. It has raspberry, peach, musk, vanilla, so dainty and delicate. It reminds me of lace or fine jewelry. It's such a beautiful fragrance and I cannot help but think of a woman who has never worked a day in her life. Whenever I smell this fragrance, she does not lift a finger. Tutu Extrait from Gritti is a ballerina princess perfume. It has champagne. I want to say there might be peach and raspberry in this one as well. And vanilla. It smells incredible. It's decadent, delicious. Tutu Extrait is why it is so difficult for me to find new fruity floral fragrances because I cannot help but compare them to this. When I want to wear a really special fruity floral, this is what I'm going to grab every time. Now, some of you I'm sure are thinking, Ariana, what are you doing here? In the top 50? The top 50, but I love this fragrance. Thank you next. It smells incredible. It's easy. It's an easy grab and go when I'm running out the door, when I'm running to Pilates or the gym or errands or just leaving the house in general with not a lot of thought put into what I'm wearing, what I'm doing. This is what I grab. I spritz with abandon and I go. And you know what? I even get some compliments when I wear this fragrance, so it deserves to be here. I have a few more designer fragrances in my top 50. I'm going to go through these pretty rapid fire because I don't think there will be any surprises. My 2 picks from Tom Ford, Lost Cherry, of course, this always makes one of those best of all time lists. You know, I never want to be without Lost Cherry. Is it the perfect fragrance? No. Is it the most long lasting? Absolutely not. But do I just enjoy it and I find that there's no real dupe out there? Yeah, people have tried. They've tried to replicate it, duplicate it, and nobody really comes close. The way this dries down on my skin is just so special and I'll never get over it. And effing fabulous. It's more of a suede-y, leathery, powerhouse CEO type of fragrance. So it's not necessarily my style, but when I want to channel that kind of badass energy, this is the perfect fragrance. Armani C Passione, pear, rose, vanilla, other things thrown in there. It's juicy, it's fruity. It's one of the most complimented fragrances from my husband. I have 2 here from Dolce & Gabbana. Dolce & Gabbana Devotion is a beautiful fragrance. I would say this is maybe the designer accessible version of Sublime Vanille from Creed. Lemony citrus notes, vanilla dry down. It smells like dessert. It reminds me of being on vacation in Italy, traveling around the Amalfi Coast. And then Dolce & Gabbana The One. This is a classic and I just couldn't not have it on the list. Ahead of its time. I don't know how they created this when they did, and it's an older fragrance, but this to me still smells so modern. If another brand, if a niche brand came out with this exact fragrance, people would go crazy for it. The only reason it doesn't get a lot of attention anymore is because it's not new. Kilian Angel Share. This smells the way butterbeer tastes. It reminds me of the holidays. It's very nostalgic. A delicious butterscotch vanilla. Louis Rouge from Christian Louboutin reminds me of a date night out in Paris, something really romantic, maybe a night out on the town bar hopping with friends. Red lipstick, high heels, it's a showstopper. Rouge Smoking from BDK Parfums is another night out on the town fragrance. It has cherry, it's delicious. It reminds me of cherry cola. I wore this last year to our big holiday party and I have no regrets. Loewe Woman is the ultimate elegant feminine fragrance. It's a little sweet, a little woody, very classy. This is a princess perfume for those who don't really like fruity florals. It's somewhat similar to La Perla Luminous. I absolutely love this fragrance. This makes me feel so delicate, so feminine. It's a little musky, a little woody. It reminds me of getting ready for the day in a silk robe. It's so beautiful. Très Cher from Mise en Cire smells like a warm hug from someone you absolutely love, like wrapping yourself in a blanket. It's warm, it's welcoming and inviting. A little bit more casual, but so cozy and feminine. We're rounding out the top 50 with show-stopping powerhouses, including this pick from Algabra. This is Neva Winged Lions. It smells a little bit fruity floral, but it's just intense, it's long-lasting, and it's stunning. Hedonist from Victoria Minya. It's solar, it smells like honey, it's bright, it's decadent, luxurious, opulent, in your face, just intense feminine energy. It's so sexy. Hedonist Iris Absolute, also from Victoria Minya, is an outstanding fragrance. This is a little bit more reserved, it's incredibly elegant. I would wear this to a special occasion, black tie affair. It's gorgeous. The Harmonist Moon Glory, this was love at first sniff. It's tropical, it's princessy. Could easily have been grouped in with that category, but it's so strong. This has intense projection. I had to save it for the very end. It's a wow factor fragrance. If you want people to smell you, this is the one. This is Hallie from Tiziana Terenzi. If you have a date night, if you're looking to mark a special occasion, if you want to make a statement, this is the fragrance. It's spicy, strong, unforgettable, and so beautiful. And finally, my two picks from Bond number 9. Tribeca is spicy, it has caramel, it's very delicious smelling. And because it's so intense and long lasting, I just love this fragrance. I love wearing this fragrance. Reminds me a bit of fall, winter, the holidays. It's a must-have for me. And Greenwich Village, when I first smelled this fragrance, I declared that it was going to become my signature scent. My collection has probably quadrupled since then, but nothing really comes close to Greenwich Village. It has that addicting quality where you just want to keep smelling it and keep smelling it. So much fun to wear. It always draws compliments. It gives me a boost of confidence and it's so long lasting. I love this one. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much for sticking with me. That is my top 50 fragrances. I do feel like we have to give a little love and commotion for the 15 honorable mentions. These are also beautiful fragrances that I could not imagine not having in my collection. Even still sitting on the shelves are some of the best fragrances I've ever smelled. They might be favorites in their own individual niche categories, but there were a lot of fragrances missing. Nothing from Wilhelm Parfumerie made it to the top 50. There was only one Kayali, only one Parfum de Marly. So there are still a lot of incredible fragrances out there that I highly recommend. I wouldn't be able to just get rid of everything else. I would feel like I was missing something. I will say removing the top 50 from the shelves did make it a little bit easier to visualize what else I needed to get rid of. So my second part of the declutter is coming up next. But that completes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you liked hearing my thoughts. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. As always, everything mentioned, everything on my face will be listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.